Hi everyone, I'm Jodi Barrows with The Square in a Square. Welcome to our live webinar today on Monday, November 29th of 2021. Now, probably a lot of you that are watching today are aware that Quilt Club Week starts this week. And we are so very excited about all of the activities that we have planned. So every day, starting today with Monday, we're going to have live webinars that give you information about Quilt Club Week and about what's coming up and some of the things that we have planned. Now, Quilt Club Week, to actually participate in the classes and the lectures, you need to have joined Quilt Club Week. So you can go to squareinaSquare.com and you can click right on there and get in there and join. Now, it's at the very top of the page. Now, Quilt Club Week, we did one last year of 2020, and those classes are in there, and you can start watching right away on all of the classes from Quilt Club Week of 2020. Now, our new Quilt Club Week of 2021, the classes, the lectures, the demos, those will actually start on Wednesday. And so you can see the two different modules and jump in there and participate and watch. Now, you'll also get emails. Is that correct, Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Yes.
If they're signed up, or
if you're signed up, then you'll also get some emails telling you about some of this. It's never too late to join because everything is either pre-recorded that you can go back in and watch, or the live stuff is recorded and you can go back in and watch it later also. We have some great classes, we've got some great teachers, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Quilt Club Week as we go along. But today is Cyber Monday. In the world that we live in, we now have Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And so we're going to start our sale, and we're going to offer our loose fabric yardage on sale prices to everyone. Now, I'm excited to tell you that, of course, if you're new to us, our fabric is top premium quilt shop fabric. These are all of my own designs, so you won't find them anywhere else. And all of my fabrics blend together. So if you got fabric a couple of years ago, then the new fabric that we have to show you will blend and go with all of those fabrics that you have purchased from us before. And I love just building on a collection and knowing that all of my colors and fabrics will look so great together. And we're going to give you some tips and hints and show you some quilts that we already have made with some of our newer fabrics. Now, I'm also excited to tell you that the regular price of our fabric is $12.50 a yard. And it's been that price for, I'm going to say a couple of years. I don't really know how long, but it's been that price for a while.
I'll say 7.
Steve says 7 years, so we're going to go with that. I'd say at least 5. But anyway, everyone in the quilt world and all the different fabric people behind the scene have been talking about how the premium cottons are going up, up, up. And some people, some quilt shops upped their prices a year ago. And we all know about our supply chain and about how difficult it is to get our stuff. So with that being said, I'm excited to say that we have our fabrics. They're in the warehouse, and we even got one pallet today that we had a few minutes before the webinar. We kind of cut open and peeked into those fabrics, and I'll show those on another webinar. And those are fabrics that are designed by Missy Carpenter of Traditional Primitives, who is going to be one of our guest teachers during Quilt Club Week this year. So we're real excited to have added Missy to our lineup, as well as Kay Roberts and Kathy Corella, and we'll tell you more about their classes too as we go along. So our fabrics have been $12.50 for a while. We are not going to up our regular price, but I know a lot of people are. But our prices have not increased to us, so we do not need to pass that price increase on. So our regular price of fabric is $12.50 a yard. But our fabric sale that starts today, if you're purchasing 3 yards of fabric of the same print, same color, same print, then you're going to get your fabric for $9.97 a yard. So that's almost a $3 savings off of our regular price. And if you look at the rest of the quilt world, their prices are already into $13 and $14. So that is a really, really good savings on the fabrics and a nice sale. And you know you're getting top quality premium cottons, all cottons for your quilting world, for your quilts. So, and we don't know how long the sale is going to last. So we talked about that this morning.
At least through the end of the week.
So we know at least through the week of Quilt Club week, but it could go a little longer or we could run out a little sooner. So don't delay in getting your orders in. Now also, we are having a free shipping, which we all know the shipping prices have gone up. So you can get free shipping if you have a $150 order, okay? Now, the kits, we're not talking about kits. They're not on sale. We're not talking about the books and rulers and tools. We're just talking about the fabrics, and we're talking about the loose yardage. Now, you could still order a half a yard or a 1 yard or a 2 yard, but you're not going to get sale price. You have to have ordered 3 yards or more. And I've talked about in past webinars about how 3 yards is a good amount of fabric to order when you don't know for sure what you're going to be doing with it. You can use it for a border and cut it the length. You can also be able to use it in a border and in blocks. You don't have to worry about running out of the fabric if you're getting 3 yards. Now, of course, you can order a 4 yard, a 5 yard, a 6, a 7, 8, a 9, 10, whatever you want, and we can get that for you all in one piece because our fabric comes on not on the bolt, it comes on the tube. So, and there's like 60 yards on there. So we can cut whatever quantity that you want, and you don't have to worry about a seam or, you know, having 2 pieces of fabric or whatever when you're building your quilt. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Now, in times past, this is what we've done for a couple of years now. When our fabric comes in and it's brand new, that's when we have a promotion, and that's when we offer you the best price for that limited time, and then it goes up to $12.50 and it stays there. But on this particular sale for Quilt Club week, we are offering, I'm going to say, almost all of our fabrics. So I've got them out down here on the table, and we're going to look at them. I have them in color waves so that you can see. So get your pencil and paper. So I have them in color waves, and we're going to talk about each one of them, and then we'll talk about them in like groups or little families too, to help you. Also, we're going to look at some quilts that we already have made with our fabrics and help get you inspired and motivated and enthused and all of that ready to go. So do we have any questions before we get started? I'll stop every once in a while and see if we have any questions. Be sure and type those in if you have them. Once again, free shipping on $150. To get the sale price of $9.97, you have to have 3 yards of that exact same fabric. And we don't know how long the sale is going to last. And these that I'm showing you today are all of my designs. We'll show you Missy's fabric on another webinar as we go throughout this week. Like I said, we just got it moments before we started the webinar, so I don't even have any pieces out. We don't have it on the website. So let's look down here at the table, and let's look at our yardages of fabric. And I think I have everything out here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but if you can think of one that I did and I need to get it, then I will. Okay, so first of all, let's look at our greens and see what we have available in our greens. This one on the website is our check. I love our everyday checks. They go with, you can put them in almost any location in a pattern, and they just really help become blenders for the rest of the fabric. So to me, they're a basic. And these are greens. These are the 4 greens that we have. This one on the website is called Green on Green. It's a little, kind of like a little bit of a green and black, but on the website, you'll see it as Green on Green check. And then we have our green from our Transcontinental Railroad collection of our trains. We have our green with our little light colored 4-star on there. And then this is one of our brand new ones that you've never seen before. And this is the tone-on-tone flags. So we are working on some patriotic.
I'll come down tight on it. You have to
Okay.
move to your right.
We are working on a patriotic line because we know that, I'm trying to get it over here for the camera better, okay? Because we know that America is going to be celebrating a birthday of 250 years in the year 2026. So I'll show you on some of our eagle ones up here. I'll show you some of the text on here so that you can see it. So on our green tone on tone, the flags are about 2 inches in width, and the actual flag is an inch in the top and bottom of it. The whole little section, I would say, is a little bit bigger than a 3x3. I know that ruler's glaring. It's about a 3x3 on there, and the flags are just on there on random, so there's no directional design here with any of the tone-on-tones. And while we're talking about the flag and looking at them, they come in 5 colors. So you have the green tone-on-tone, you have the red one here, you have the dirt and tan here on this one. And then it comes in what we call our kettle black. It's kind of it's an antique black. It's kind of, some people think it's navy, but it's what we call kettle black. Okay, so don't get confused on the website. It's kettle black. It's kind of navy. It's kind of black. And then we have more of what we call the Old Glory blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 colors of the flag. And that's our brand new one. And those of you that did Love of Country in our premium club, you got a little sneak peek of some of these fabrics in that particular kit. So these are the greens. You can see, make sure you get all of them in there, Steve. We're missing our...
Let me move the other side.
There we go. Here. So here's our greens, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And if you have any questions about them, let me know. Now on these, let's start looking at our golds and our lights. So other camera, Steve. Okay, so here is our lights or our neutrals. So this one is a gold, and it's the only thing we have in that color, and it's called Gold Vine. It blends with all of our fabrics that we have. It's a nice little accent piece. And let me see, that vine is about 3 inches by about 2 inches on that one particular vine. That way you can kind of get, and I'll put my hand there by it so that you can see. So that is a great one to have. And we are at the end of this fabric. This one we probably have maybe 200 yards of. So that means we're at the end of it when I get down to that amount of quantity. Here you can see our flag tone on tone, and it uses what we call our tan and our dirt. And when you look over here, you see our tattered and torn, which are our basics, and you see one that we call tan and one that we call dirt. So in our lights, we've used that here in our flag, and we've also used those here in our check. And I think this one on the website is called beige check, if I remember correctly. Then also in our railroad line, we have the railroad tracks. And on the railroad track, the different words are different important things that was part of the language during the Transcontinental Railroad. For those of you that know me, you know that I love history and I love the 1800s. And the train was a 150-year celebration here just a bit ago. And so you saw some of the train in the green. Here you see the track in the cream. And then here you see the elements there. You can see the train on one of the bridges. I love working with these. And we'll show some quilts during Quilt Club week. that have some of the train in them. Okay, now this is our 1790 floral, and we are way at the end of this. This will sell out right away. We got it in January, and you guys almost got it all then. I would say we maybe have 100 yards of the florals. So if you're interested in the florals, this one is the one that is the cream or the beige. It's also in the red, and it also comes in the blue here. So those are the 1790 florals. And if you're interested in these, don't delay. We're at the end of these, we're at the end of our train, and we're at the end of our gold vine, okay? Don't want anybody to miss out on any of the fabrics. And in our past webinars this year, we've shown you a lot of quilts with the florals, and we'll show you some more this week as we go along. The everyday checks, there's 8 colors of the everyday check. We've already talked about the green on green. This one is the beige with the tan and the dirt are the 2 colors that are in it. There's 8 of them. So you have your green, your beige, you have 3 in the red, you have 2 in the blue, here and here, and then you have 1 in the black, and we'll look at those down here in more detail here in a few minutes. But there's 8 of the checks. Now the pictures on the website, we have tried to redo them on the checks multiple times, and the pixels just don't want to pick up and show the colors very well. So here you can probably see the colors, and I think there is one picture where they're all together. That's on the website. Is that correct, Steve?
Yeah.
That has the colors that are pretty true. But just that individual check picture, you'll just have to read on it to make sure you have the correct one. Now this is one of our new ones that you haven't seen before, and this one is called Eagle Flag. And we'll open it up so that you can see it here in just a moment. But it comes in the light or the beige, it comes in the red, and it comes in the blue. So those are the 3 colors of it. So let's open it up and look a little bit more detail, because this is one of our new ones that you guys have been waiting on. So it has our American eagle with our flags kind of in his feet. We have the star, and then we have 2 little rows of stars. So this is really a great one to use in a border like this. You can come in, you can either use both of the sides of the red, or come in between. You've got a 1/2 inch in here, so you can cut a 1/4 of an inch away from that star and that star. It's really close, but it is there. And that way you could get a red on each side of a border if you wanted to. Now, just the eagle and the flags is about a 4.5 inch square. So if you were wanting to fussy cut it, it's about a 4.5. And then if you wanted to go all of the way, I think it's like an 8 or 8.5. If you wanted to go from star at the top to star at the bottom. And I can just see this in so many different things, from borders to setting squares to fussy cut in the center of a basic square. And since this is one of our new ones, we just have 1 quilt with it in it, besides the Love of Country quilt that we did that will show. But I have one actually on my cutting table that I'm working on. I hope to be able to show you all in Quilt Club week by the end of the week. And of course, this runs the length of the fabric, so you can make a border as long as you want and not have to worry about piecing it. Now on the light color, the dates don't show up very well, but let me show you on the red and the blue. It says 1776 and 2026, which is our 250-year birthday and celebration on here. So in the red and in the blue, you get the text of those numbers much more clear than you do on the light. Okay? So those are the eagle flag. So let's finish looking at our light colors, and then we'll move on to one of the other colors. I just love these. I just can't wait to get started on them. Okay, and then here we have our tattered and torns. This one is our tan, and this one is our dirt. It's just a little bit darker. And of course, our tattered and torns come in the dirt and the tan and the red and the black, the kettle black, and the blue. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the black when we get to those here in just a moment. So I'm going to kind of scoop these down. I just can't wait to get started on some of these like this. Okay, let's bring our blues up so we can see them. Okay, so down here on the very end we have our Old Glory Blue, tattered and torn. So it's a good basic blender background. And we have our American Eagle. Now this one is called Eagle Vine. The Eagle is a great fussy cut for a 2-inch sewn. Fits in there great. And then also if you wanted to use it in borders or in blocks, we're going to look at a few quilts made with the eagle heads, the Eagle Vine here in just a moment. We have our same star that is in our eagles and flags. It's our same star in there, and I think all of the colors are just so rich and good. When people see our fabrics, they're like, oh, they're just use the word yummy. They're just so yummy. They're just, the 1800 colors are really deep and really rich, and I love that. That's probably why I love that era so much. So this is the eagle head. It comes in the light colored. We looked at it, and here it is in the Old Glory, and then it's over here hiding in the Freedom Red. So there it is in the Freedom Red. So you can get those colors. Now, one thing before in the past, when we've had our fabric sales and like our tattered and torns have come in or our checks have come in, you know, I've told people, I said, you know, they're like, what should we order? And I'm like, well, with the quilts that we're going to make, you know, 5, 8, 10 yards, it really isn't too much of that print. And we actually do have people order that much. And then I see people ordering after the sale is over, and I'm thinking, oh man, they could have got that. So don't miss out on this great fabric sale by ordering, you know, just a 3-yard piece of something. You know, don't be afraid to jump in there and get that bigger quantity. I'm going to show you some quilts, and we'll talk a little bit more about quantities here in a few moments after you see them. Okay, and then this one is our, this check here is our blue and tan check. And this one is going to react as a medium. No matter what lights you put with it or what darks you put with it, this is going to react as a medium in your quilt. And those fabrics that are mediums really are what help make your blocks just really pop and jump out and be so beautiful and have a great contrast. But the mediums in the fabric world can be tricky because it depends on what you put with it on whether it reacts as a dark or a light. But this tan, the blue and tan check, will react as a medium every time. Also, your kettle black and tan will react as a medium, and your red and tan will react as a medium. And then, yes, question?
Can you show the green with the train?
Mm-hmm.
That was a few minutes ago, so I don't want them to...
Yeah. So here's the green with the train. And some of the little trains on there could be like 2 inches. Some of them are like 3 inches by 6. It just kind of depends on... so like this one here, you know, is probably like 3.5 inches by like 7 inches. So if you're wanting to fussy cut them, and I like using these, even if I'm not working on what I say is a train quilt, I like working with these fabrics and using the colors mixed in with the other blocks. It doesn't have to be a train quilt. Okay, so back to our blues. We have our blue flag tone on tone. Really love it. And this is some of our 1790 floral. So remember, we're at the end of it, and it's going to all be gone after Quilt Club week. So if you're wanting any of the 1790 florals in the blue or the red or the light, make sure you jump in there and get those. Don't delay. And then our eagle flag in the blue. And then this check is just one of my favorite checks. We've had the red and black check for multiple years, but this one is a new one that we've only had the past few months. And I love working with it and putting it in with the blues, the reds, the blacks. It just looks beautiful with everything. And really one of my favorites.
What's it called?
This one is called Blue and Black Check. Blue, black check. Okay. And then we're coming into our, what we call our kettle blacks. Now, back in the 1800s, and I'll teach you a little bit about dyes and colors and when they came out. In the 1800s, they really didn't have a black. They had the indigo dyes that they could do the nice, really deep, rich indigos, but they couldn't do black dyes till about 1880. So the closest they could get was this color of black that we call kettle black. It's an antique black, and we use it as black in our quilts, but some people look at it in person and say, is it navy blue or is it black? And it actually is kettle black on the color chart, and it's an 1800s black, the best that they could get. So here we have it in the tattered and torn, the kettle black, and then we have our tan and black check. We have our black flags, which I'm really excited to jump in there and work with it. And as I've been playing with it out here on the table and putting it with other fabrics, it just looks great, whether you're doing a patriotic quilt or whether you're just working on a nice patchwork. It's really, really a great one to get in there and use. And then we have our black train tracks. And same as our light train tracks, just kind of reverse colors. So you have the light background with the black tracks and words, and the black background with light tracks and red words and some gold stars. Really love those. And the train track came in 3 colors. We haven't gotten up here to the reds yet, but here you can see it in the red. Great for borders, backs, and setting blocks. Okay, now before we move on from our black, I want to look at a quilt. So this next quilt I'm going to show you, we used the black tattered and torn, we used the black and tan check, and we used our tan, our lightest of our tattered and torn. That one is the flag, but this one here, our lightest of our tan, tattered, and torn. So let's look at this quilt over here. This one is called Poinsettia Star, and it is in the Diamond Book, which is our reference book, Book 2. And we've only got the 3 fabrics. We have the tan, the lightest one of the tattered and torn for the background. We use the black and tan check, and then we use the black tattered and torn. And it just is a simple quilt in the colors and in the designs, but it's just really exquisite. And I would even use the word kind of a modern, kind of a country modern, I guess, maybe. And then some of that beautiful quilting by Kathy Corella. And Kathy is teaching more quilting in the Quilt Club week of 2021. She also taught it in 2020. And then in our premium club, she taught how to quilt the Welcome Home quilt. Now, before we move on to the res, let's go ahead and look at this last this last one of the train. It's really just a beautiful work of art. So the panel is about, I'm going to guess, about 22 inches from the top to the bottom. Let me move it over here to this other camera, Steve. I think you'll be able to see it better. So it's about 22 inches from the top to the bottom. There we go. And of course, this is half of it. And then on the other, this side here represents the east. That was called the Union Pacific Railroad. And of course, it was moving west, and it was going to meet up with the west. The words in the middle are the different telegrams and information text that was written. And let me see if I can get this opened up so that you can see it. Okay, so here you can see like the front of an engine and the date, and the west meets east, and the Union Pacific was the east side working this direction. The central was the one in California that was working towards to meet up with the, and then all of this represents what the Central Railroad had to go through. They had to go through the mountains and the granite, and they measured their progress each day in inches, when the team of railroad workers that was on the east moving west measured their progress in a day's time by miles. And you can see the wonderful buffalo here, just really great. And they were called the Gold of the West and the Iron of the East. And when they came together, it turned into the Transcontinental Railroad. So this is great to cut up. We've cut it up into quilts. We'll show those later this week. And we've used it as a big panel. And then we also have several different patterns and even a history book on the train. So if you wanted to make a quilt for someone and give it as a gift, and then have the book with the history in it to go with it, is a great idea for someone that loves the trains in your life.